Hello guys, welcome to my channel. It's been a while. Today I want to show you what it means to be cooking a real meal in the kitchen. Real meal in the sense of a set of meal, what we eat as a swallow, which is the amala, the okro, and the stew itself. This is how it's done in the real kitchen. When we are cooking, we cook multiple things at the same time to save time. And this is how it's done. I made this stew, this okra soup, and amala. Amala is one of the swallow that we eat in Nigeria, the Yoruba part, the southwest of Nigeria. So, before we start, let me reintroduce myself. Guys, welcome to my channel again. These are the list of the ingredients in all I cooked. In this video, I cooked the stew, which is the chicken stew, the okra, and the amala. So it's a full learning video, which I'm going to show you the pepper combination, the onions, and the Scottish bonnet, which we call rodo, where I'm from, Yoruba part of Nigeria. West Africa, and this is my chopped and plum tomato. The chicken has previously been rinsed, marinated. I'm using ginger, garlic, and I'm going to make okra. These are all we'll be cooking, and the swallow which we're going to use in together. This is a meal on its own. So I want to show you when we say amala, we can't eat the amala alone. It comes with a sauce, which is the chicken sauce and with okra. So I'm going to show you how we can normally cook this thing all together in the kitchen, it's done in real life. So I'm going to start by boiling the marinated chicken. I cleaned it and I seasoned for a while, and now I'm going to boil it. There's a video on my channel which I show you how to clean and marinate your chicken. I'm going to have the link below. If you need it, then you can watch it. Here comes me rinsing all the pepper, the sweet pepper. I use the long sweet pepper here. So break it into smaller pieces for it to be easily blended in the microwave. I'm sorry, in the microwave. I'm so sorry. In the blender, sorry. So I'm showing you how I blend my pepper with a combination of sweet pepper, onions, and ginger, garlic, and a little bit of turmeric, fresh turmeric. So chop your onions in the blender, and what I do first is I blend the pepper onions together first. If you really want your pepper to be well smooth without no seed, please try to do this and you're going to see the difference. So first blend the combination of all the peppers with the ginger and onions. Then after that, then we go into blending the tomatoes on its own. So here I am, I'm blending the pepper. I'm trying to show you. Pepper for separate the pepper from the tomatoes, then you will see the difference. So back to the chicken which I'm boiling. So I leave it again, then I continue back to the pepper. So this is how it's done when you're doing real cooking. Like, we don't just cook stew. You have to multitask. As a woman or as a mother, we multitask a lot. So while you're doing the pepper, you're doing some other things. So in this video, I'm blending my pepper and I was boiling my chicken at the same time. So this is how it's done. This is how it's really done. So the pepper, this is the second batch of that's the tomatoes now. And it's done. So next, I'm going to put it on fire for it to boil. Just raising the rest and the bit of it. And back to my chicken. Is add chicken. So it takes a while. I like to boil a bit more longer. It's not soft chicken. It's had free range chicken. So I just swap the pot. I put the pepper in front because the bigger burner, and I just switch the chicken to be boiling at the back, which is a smaller burner. So it's all done because I'm still going to cook it further in the sauce, which is the pepper. So I'm going to take it out now, and I'm going to set it aside when it's done. So I leave the pepper to keep boiling. You let the pepper boil first for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And this is my okra. While the pepper is boiling, I'm going to chop my okra. If my okra is not that much, I like to chop it by hand. There's always the difference when you chop by hand than putting whole in the blender to chop it. So it's not much, so I'm going to use my hand. Sometimes, if it's a huge number of one, I just combine chopping by hand and using a grater. So on this video, I'm using hand method to chop my okra. So I have added a bit of oil in the boiled pepper, then sieve my chicken stock. So when you sieve your chicken stock, don't pour it all with all these things. It makes your stew looks clean, neat, what is it called? Palatable to eat. It makes it look attractive. It doesn't have all this particles from the chicken in it, so it makes it look fresh. The appearance just looks so attractive and much better. So try to cultivate the habit of always saving your either chicken stock or beef stock. I mean, you will love it. It's the difference is mind blowing. So just stir it after adding 2 cubes of Maggi. Then I'm going to add my chicken again back into the pepper, the oil that has been boiling all together now for like 15 minutes. Then I'm going to leave it to cook further, which is one of the reasons why I didn't boil it for so long while I was boiling the chicken on its own. So I'm saving the a little bit of stock, chicken stock that I did, then leave it to cook. Then I'm going to go back doing something else. So this is how it's done in the kitchen. You cook things while you're cooking your sauce. You're probably doing something else. In so this is how it's really done. This is real life demo of cooking a meal. So we are eating. We have sauce, but we have to eat our sauce with something in our culture. So our sauce can either be eaten with whatever rice, swallow. So in this video, I'm doing a complete video of cooking my sauce, which I'm going to be having with amala, and back to chopping my okra. So I'm chopping it. The first thing you do when you're chopping your okra is you just cut a little bit of the top edge away. That is the tradition. That is what I was taught. That's what I grow into. So I do it and it looks good, and I like it that way. So I guess we do transfer of information and tradition in some cooking. So I know other parts of the world or Africa or some Arabs, they cook their, or East Africa cook their okra differently. We all have similar food, but it's just that the way we cook it are just different in all the parts of the world. So this is mostly how we cook our okra in Nigeria, the Yoruba side. Let's say the southwest of Nigeria. We cook our okra this way. You chop it, then you cook it on its own or with other part of meat. So let me just focus on this. I just deviate a little bit. So the chicken sauce stew is almost done. As you can see, how it looks. It's not just about the look, but it tastes so good. It tastes so lovely. It was beautiful. You can see the look. Imagine we just pour the chicken stock with all the other particles. It's not going to look this beautiful, attractive. So you can see it. So I'm encouraging you, and I'm trying to tell you to always save your chicken or beef stock. It's very good. The difference is very clear. So we've come to an end of making the chicken stew. While the chicken stew is ready, I'm just going to put it on the side and focus on my okra, and I'm going to show you how I make my amala. So this is making the stew, the amala, and the okra. So while I boil the water in the kettle, then I'm going to transfer it into the pot. Then we're going to make amala. Amala is made with dry yam that is completely dry before it's blended. So this is amala. So once the water is hot, if you're not an expert, please try to lower the heat in order to avoid it having lumps. Cocoa, we call it cocoa in my language. You don't want to eat your amala with lumps, so turn the heat a little bit down so that, because you're not fast enough to avoid it having lumps. So you have to be fast, just do a little bit of hand exercise. You will enjoy making it. So this is how it is. You beat it. When you're making your cake, we use the mixer to do the proper mixing up to have it fluffy. But in this case, this is African food. You have to use your ham, your wooden stick, and beat properly. So the reason why I added more of the elubo, we call yam flour is called elubo in my language, and is because first of all you have to make it a little bit other than the actual content you want to eat. Then when you cook further, we add a little bit of more water, cover it, and let it boil for another 10 minutes, depending on the size portion you're making. So I'm adding water now. So once I'm going to punch it in, put a hole in between so that it can cook very well in between, and you use your other spoon to just scrape out every other thing sticking on the wood and on the side of the pot so that they can all cook properly and evenly. Then you just sponge it to make space so that they cook well. Then cover it for a few minutes. Let's say like about between 8 to 10 minutes. That is depending on the size portion you're making. Once it's cooked for like few minutes, then we're going to go back to the final stage. So back to my okra. Remember, I put locust beans water in my okra and I rinsed my locust beans before putting it there. The reason why we rinse our locust is because of sand and the particle of some tiny stones that might be in it. So I saved the water in it, then yeah, leave it. I actually like my okra to retain its greenness, so I don't like cooking it for long. And I'm going to lower the heat at this point. Add a bit of water. Your the number of water you had depends on how thick or how light you want your okra. So back to my amala that is cooking. Punch it in all again. Just to be able to show that it's ready for me to do the final beating, which is to make it fluffy and ready to be served. So my okra is cooking, and at this point I'm going to stir it again. I'm not going to cook it for long. I don't like cooking my okra for long, any of the vegetables actually. So stir this way. Add crayfish, yes, blended white, the tiny bit of crayfish. Yeah, those ones you blend it. I always blend it, buy in bulk, blend it and store it in a jar or in any container of your choice. Then add a little bit of Maggi cubes to it. I'm not going to use the whole Maggi cubes. I'm using half of that Maggi cubes. I broke it into half. So just stir it and it's all done. At this point, I turn off the heat. Yeah, because I want it to retain its vitamins, its greens. So back to my amala, and this is the final part of the amala. You have to mix. You have to mix properly to be fluffy. Amala is best eaten. You get the joy of eating amala when it's well fluffy. When it's very, very fluffy, you enjoy every bit of amala when you're eating it. So this is the time to do a little bit of hand exercise. So beat, 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 beat to your satisfaction. Once it's well beaten to your satisfaction, then you're good to go. Then all you just have to do, I'm going to add a little bit of flour because I believed it's a bit way too soft than I thought it's going to be. So the flour is meant to make it to is either if it's too light, you wanted to make it a bit thick, which is weight at this point. So once beaten, and to be ready to be served in a couple of minutes. So all done. Beat for the Amala is one of the swallow I love so much. I do love Amala. So we have two different types of amala. We have one that is made out of unripe plantain, which is called ELUBO ISU, and we have this very one I'm making, which is made out of dry yam, ELUBO ISU. So when you go to the market, you have to specify which one you're buying. Is it ELUBO ISU, which is the plantain one, or ELUBO ISU, which is the yam one? So this is how to make amala. So in this video we cook three things: okra, chicken stew, and amala. Then you wrap it in the nylon, and you just to put it in a cloth and put it in a cooler to keep it warm, especially if you're not eating straight away. But sometimes it can be dished directly into the plate. So this is the amala. It's all done, and the stew, the okra, and everything. Guys, this is how it's done. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, share with friends and family, and remember to click the like button.